Hey everybody, good morning. My name's Jesse, and I'm going to run you through some digital marketing ideas. In just 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I'm going to have to go pretty fast, and I want to try and hit you with a lot. So it's going to be kind of some structural things, some quick ideas, and then if you have any follow-up questions, please, you can ask Prakar for my email address. It's just jesse@magneti.com, and I'm happy to give more context. So let me share my screen. Give me just a sec here. Give me a thumbs up, anybody, if you're seeing my screen. Okay. Okay, so some real quick ideas about marketing before we get into digital kind of specifically. There's no silver bullet in marketing. Things that work for one company don't work for another. It tends to be we shoot 10 bullets at the target, and then we look and realize the one that we hit surprised us. It's about measuring well and tracking such that you can figure out what's working or not. But shooting 10 bullets and then you can't even look, that doesn't do you any good. So everybody wants a silver bullet, the latest thing. Should I be on TikTok? Should I whatever? And we've just never seen it work that way. We've never seen the silver bullet in marketing. Your marketing has to always be a reflection of reality. Don't put lipstick on a pig. Don't try and do these campaigns that paint you in a light different than you actually are. The best marketing is always a reflection of reality. Another thing that a lot of people struggle with is, what's that? Somebody's trying to talk. Oh. Another thing that some people struggle with is this idea that they have to be creative all the time in marketing. And I don't think that that's true. The best brands usually are consistent. They use the colors consistently. They use their messaging consistently. Imagine for a sec you went to art school and you're a graphic designer and you went to work on the brand team at McDonald's. Do you know what colors you're allowed to use? Red and yellow, forever. For the rest of your life at McDonald's, you get to use red and yellow. It's not about creativity. It's about consistency. So you think, oh, let's put a little Santa hat on our logo for Christmas time, or make our logo Thanksgiving colors. Don't do that kind of stuff in your marketing. It's not helping. And then a couple other quick things. Yes, it does tend to move fast, especially in the digital world. Like Facebook's changing things, and all these platforms are changing things all the time, and they don't really tell us. So if you're kind of like, oh man, I thought I had it all figured out, I'm sorry. Yes, it's frustrating, and that's just kind of how the stuff works sometimes. Two metrics that I think every good organization should know related to their marketing, and yes, they're digital as well. Your lifetime value of a customer. Some people call it average deal size. Sometimes it's average ticket order, whatever. But what one customer, what kind of revenue are you going to experience from them over the entire course of interacting with you? Lifetime value, and then customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost to buy a new customer? All your sales and marketing efforts, how much does it cost? $50, $100, $1,000, what does it cost to bring in one of those lifetime value customers? So these are two numbers we obsess over. Okay, let me share with you kind of a really simple marketing model that we use all the time. We call it PCCP. And this is just a way to think about your marketing. Marketing can feel confusing, and we're doing this, we're doing all these things. This is one of those models that's really simple where you can say, okay, there's not that many moving parts in marketing. We have a product that we're trying to sell, or a service, or donations to our nonprofit, or whatever it is, right? We're trying to sell a product. We have different personas or demographic groups. I won't go into personas, but they're a whole way to think about somebody in a very human way. Instead of, oh, demographics and 12% of our audience does this, blah, 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 blah. Just think about people and give them a name. Joe and Sally. And what do they want? They want different things, but we can identify them, and we call them our personas. We generalize and stereotype, give them a name, and say, Joe. Joe comes into our store every day. What does Joe want? So we got a product, we got people we're selling it to. We're trying to tell our personas about our product using channels. Channel in marketing can be any way that you can interact with somebody. Yes, TV, radio, print, billboards, Facebook, Instagram, email, all that stuff, all those are channels. So any way you could talk to somebody or tell your message is a channel. A flyer on the street is a channel. That's a print channel. So we think about our people that we're trying to talk to, our product, there is a channel that we can use to talk to them. And then the other C is content. So what we're trying to do all day long in marketing is write stories, tell stories, persona-specific content in the channels that we have identified to talk about our product. So anytime you hear a new idea, TikTok, I'll probably joke about TikTok because it's like people talk about it all the time right now in marketing. It's new, oh, it's the latest and greatest thing, all this stuff. Well, is the persona different that you're trying to sell to? Probably not. Is your product any different? No. It's a new channel. That's it. It's just a new channel. Of all the channels you could be doing, it's just a new channel. Yes, the content is kind of different. You know, it's this kind of musically, there's dancing, you know, like all this stuff on TikTok. But the model's still the same. We're just trying to find people to tell about our product, our service, channels, and content that we do that with. Okay, so really quick, the types of channels then, right? So zooming in on channels, there's really two types of channels. You can buy eyeballs with paid traffic, or you can earn eyeballs with organic channels. So your email marketing is an organic channel. Pay-per-click, Facebook ads is a paid channel. So when we're putting campaigns together, all we're thinking is, do we have budget for paid? If not, we got to think about organic channels, and then what kind of content are we creating? So PCCP is that really simple model to say, what are we trying to sell? Who are the type of people we sell to? What are the channels? And then what's the type of content? In marketing, we all want to think we're real creative and we're real sophisticated, blah, 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 blah. This is all we do all day long, over and over and over again, is just try and think of campaigns to talk to people about products. Okay, so there's a couple kind of really high level ideas, and now I'll talk about digital more specifically. One of the really important things about digital is that we have this bucket of our website. And for a lot of people, their website is a leaky bucket. They're driving traffic, again, through either organic or paid channels, to their website or their landing page or their mobile app or whatever it is, but the bucket is leaky. A leaky bucket is what's going to drive performance down. A lot of people think that when you hire a digital marketing company that put their magic hose in the top of the bucket. Magneti has some magic hose to put in the top of the bucket, when really the problem that they have, I think my kids are trying to come in here. I have my two older kids at home today. When really they don't need the magic hose, a lot of clients we talk to have a leaky bucket in the form of their website. And a lot of organizations, if they could just convert more of the traffic that they already have, they could actually perform much better. That perspective is what we call CRO, conversion rate optimization. So before we talk about channels and all of these digital channels, just understand that most companies can see very serious ROI by looking at their website, thinking, CRO, how do I not drive new traffic, but convert more of the traffic I already have? Lots of ways you can do that. Having forms, having buttons, having big phone numbers at the top. A simple question you can ask is, what do people want when they come to my website, and how quickly can they get there? A phone number, a menu, you know, like for restaurants, all the research is so fascinating about what people want. on a restaurant website. And it's super simple. It's hours, location, menu usually. That's it. And then, yeah, you want some social proof around reviews, maybe, yeah, we got this many stars on Yelp, whatever. But people want speed for restaurant websites. But that's the kind of stuff said, we're already getting people to the website. Don't worry about driving new people yet. Let's make sure we don't have a leaky bucket. Okay, so CRO is that kind of mentality. Okay, once we get into channels, there's really 4 big channels that we think about in digital. There's more, but these are kind of the go-to usually with digital. By the way, traditional channels, there's the big 4: TV, radio, out of home, which is bus stops and billboards, and print. TV, radio, out of home, and print is the traditional big 4. Digital, email, social, pay-per-click, and SEO. And I'll give you a quick rundown on what each of these are, what they mean, and kind of some details on these. Okay, let me start with email. Email is organic. Sending emails to your list, people that you have. If you don't have an email list now, you should start to try and build one. You know, maybe at the checkout register, have a little place people can fill in their email address, give them a free sticker or something, give them a $1 off their meal, like lots of ways to build an email list. Email for most of our clients is one of their highest performing marketing channels. It's low-hanging fruit because people know you. It's easy to send an email. You don't have to do any big fancy stuff. You can send an email pretty fast. If you're not doing any email marketing, it's usually a quick win. The immediate response is usually, oh, well, I get so many spam emails. I always just delete them. That's true. The average open rate for most email lists is 20%. That's actually pretty dang good. We've run campaigns, we've seen open rates north of 50%. Email has a lot of life in it still. And if you're not doing it, I think it's something worth looking at. Don't overdo it. Don't send emails every day. Maybe don't even send them once a week, depending on what you do. But just know it's important to give stuff away, give ideas, give resources, cool stuff happening in the community, whatever, give it away, and then do a pitch. Hey, we got a discount. Hey, here's a coupon. Don't just pitch all the time. Don't just talk about your latest and greatest, your discount. Don't pitch all the time. You want to jab, jab, punch. Give, ask is the kind of combination you want in email. MailChimp's a great platform. There's so many email platforms out there. MailChimp's awesome. HubSpot is one we really like, but it's kind of big and gnarly, and it's pretty expensive, but it has all these cool features. If you're not doing email, I would recommend it in some form. Just start the ball rolling on email. Social media is the next one. Some organizations literally have grown purely because of social media. I'm really excited to hear from Morgan because that's a lot of their stories. They've got a fantastic social media presence. Social media has become this weird combination of organic and paid because, yes, it started as an organic channel, but then all these tools start to have paid ad products. Facebook is the most extreme because you have to pay to boost posts to your own audience. So Facebook is definitely this weird kind of, even if you have a big following, a lot of likes, you usually can't reach them because Facebook charges you to reach your own audience. One way to think about social more than anything else is if you can't spend a bunch of time and have beautiful photography and tell an epic story, is to at least show you have a pulse. Show that your lights are on. That is what social media can help with, is just to be like, okay, if they haven't posted for 6 years, you're like, I don't even know if they're still in business. I've looked in the windows and I don't know if they're in business if there's nothing on their social media. Have your open light on in the form of some recent social media content. And then really quick, this is a model we use for social media. We call it the 3 C's: curation, creation, and conversation. Curation is sharing things in your industry or in the community, other stuff people have posted that you reshare. So curation is just resharing, reposting. Creation is your own stuff, right? Your own pictures, your own content. Here's who we are. And then conversation is anytime you kind of engage and try and really kind of talk, respond, ask questions. Those are kind of the 3 C's that are really easy to kind of follow. Okay, so there's social. I'm already at 18 minutes, so I'll go through SEO and pay-per-click real fast, okay? SEO is getting your site, search engine optimization, sorry, that's that acronym. Search engine optimization is when Google ranks your site high in a search. You make somebody Google something, how high you show up in the organic results, which are usually the bottom half of the page, that's SEO. It's slow, it's hard to do, it's tough for small companies. It's not a really fast, it's more like cooking with the crock pot than the microwave. Reviews affect SEO, so that's something you can focus on, and social media also affects SEO. So just keep in mind that if you can't hire somebody to do a bunch of SEO on your website, making sure you've got good reviews and have some semblance of traffic coming from your social media will affect your SEO. SEO is a big black box. I could talk about SEO for 4 hours straight on a webinar. So just know it's hard for small companies to do a bunch of SEO work. And then the last one is pay-per-click or online ads. Facebook ads would fall under this. Instagram ads would fall under this. It takes extra budget. So even if you've got labor time, you need hard cost for spend, for ad spend, for pay-per-click. And that money goes straight to Google, straight to Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook, straight to these companies. It's a hard cost. Even if you hired an agency like Magneti to help manage it, there's an additional hard cost for spend. Pay-per-click tends to be the kind of thing that's easy to start but tough to master. You can get an ad up right away buying good Facebook ads, but to really get good at it with targeting, driving down your customer acquisition cost over time, that's actually pretty hard to do. Also, as digital marketing gets more and more popular, the prices go up over time. So actually, a lot of times, performance gets worse, not better over the long haul, just because more and more people are doing it. Okay, so that is, I'm right at 20 minutes. That is some marketing context, some PCCP, so you can just think about my personas, content and channels, and then those are the big 4 we think about in digital in terms of channels. One other thing I'll mention, SMS marketing, text message marketing. Cool opportunity, a lot more people are doing it. We love doing it when it makes sense. You have to have people opt in. Sometimes your point of sale system has it. So like I know I've been to a lot of coffee shops where there's like a loyalty program. They have my phone number. They send me emails and text messages because of the loyalty program. If you have a way to do that, it's awesome. It totally works for most of the people we see if it's done well. Again, don't overdo it. Don't spam. Don't send text all the time. But even once a month, an SMS campaign can be really successful. So I'll make a little plug for SMS. It's got a long way to go as a channel, but we're seeing a lot more of it and can be really cool. So there's my very quick rundown for CAR. And how about we save questions for, we'll do combined questions for Morgan and I at the end.
Yeah, that sounds great. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Jesse. And Morgan, let me know if you were able to speak because I know your camera isn't working. So go ahead, start speaking, and we can see where it goes.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Can
Hey,
you
Morgan.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Awesome. I am just trying to switch computers really quick.
No worries.
Sorry about that, but I'm almost there. Thank you for your patience. Let's see if I can get this to work. While I'm uploading this, maybe I can just say that we're a pretty scrappy enterprise when it comes to marketing. And I think that I hope that I can share that you know, my perspective on this and our perspective on this as Ladyfingers is just that you've got to do something. You've got to start somewhere. I often get really overwhelmed when I start to think about, let's see if this will work. When I start to think about, there I am. Hi, we'll switch over to that. Can you hear me now on that one?
Unfortunately, I can't hear you on that one.
Okay, let's see if I can get it to work.
Okay. Yeah, your audio is connecting. Awesome.
Hopefully there's not feedback.
I can hear you, Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Leave as my ghost face. Let's see if we're okay. So this is rolling. We have 7-month-old twins in our household and a 4-year-old. Let me turn this off. Okay. So we're a pretty scrappy enterprise, and our company is my spouse Arlie, myself, and 1 full-time employee. So our marketing and social media happens usually from a cell phone when there's like a little break between customers or a baby's taking a nap. We don't have a plan necessarily, and we also don't often like schedule things ahead of time. And for us, I think that one of the things that has been really successful for us in our marketing is to listen to what's going on in the world and to think about, as a business, talking to people as if they were our friends. So I will say the majority of our marketing happens through Instagram, and then we feed that into our Facebook account for our business that's linked up with that, and also our Twitter. We are not great at a lot of things, and we have really focused our attention on Instagram because we're a visual business and we have a lot of response to the things that we share online. And I want to share our Instagram with you in a couple minutes and kind of talk through how we think about what we're posting. But I think the thing that I spend a lot of time thinking about is, as a customer of other businesses, how am I responding to things that people are sharing that is marketing? I really have kind of a feeling of like grossness when I read something and I'm like, oh, this is an ad. This person is selling me something. And I think one of the things that I love about Instagram for us is it feels more like a conversation between us and our customers. Some of the people that are customers of ours are also friends. And so I'd like to think about, you know, the various people that support our business. We have customers who shop in our store. We have customers who shop online. We have people who own stores that buy products from us wholesale that we ship across the country. And all of those people are part of a conversation that we have happening through our Instagram account. We started a long time ago on Instagram. I want to say like 8 years ago, possibly. And that is a big piece of the puzzle when it comes to growing the number of people who are listening to you. So I am not the person to talk about growing that following because we just started so long ago. But I do think some of the things that are important when you're thinking about kind of Instagram as a platform for marketing and growing that is always kind of like tagging people both in the image and also in the writing and giving credit if you're sharing something, if you're sharing someone else's work. One of our stores down in Salida shared a post this week that got a ton of traffic. They posted some of our work. They tagged us in the photo. They said that you could get the print from us. all of those people kind of came over and said hi and joined our following and became potential customers for us. So think about how you can share that message with other businesses, and share your pools of people, especially restaurants, retail stores, things like that. How are you having the conversation with other people? For example, if you don't do brunch, can you say like, check out the brunch cocktails over at the other restaurant across the street, or our neighbor, or we're giving, you know, anyone who goes in and says this secret code word, you're going to get a free cocktail on our business. Just like, how are you creating those kinds of relationships on the internet that you have in real life? Russ Ware, who I don't see on here, but who is from Good Neighbors and also from Wild Goose Meeting House. Beautiful, just really natural conversation, and has like a daily posting that he does for his restaurants, kind of giving a little like summary of what they have going on that day, if there's a special, or if they're giving a discount, or if they're doing something. And Russ has done a really nice job. He took a big pile of posters that we have over to his shop. He's telling people they can pick them up there. They can also pick them up here. We're sharing that kind of conversation that we have in real life on the internet. Let's see, what other things did I really want to talk about? We don't schedule posts because I've seen too many times where someone schedules a post for Instagram, then something horrific happens in the world, and the post is totally, completely mistimed, doesn't address whatever's going on in the world. And then a lot of people are like, why are you posting about like Father's Day cards on a day when we're dealing with this as a nation? So I know for a lot of people, scheduling posts is really important, but we don't do that. I think it's just, we try to take some time every day and think about what's going on and how we share that like overlapping experience with our community. The other thing that I will say in terms of creating kind of an awareness of our business with people is that I really hate being on camera for a business. I do not like to talk to the camera. We have realized that majority of people who are following our account now are in Instagram on stories, which is that little section on the top. It's like a TV channel for your business. And now not only do you have to think of something to write, but you have to like create video content if you've never done that before, and write captions and all kinds of, you can use little moving objects in there. So now I'm in charge of a video channel for our company, and I have no training and no background in that. But I will tell you that putting my face out there, putting our family, reminding people that we are a family business, that when you shop in our community, you are supporting my family, who in turn supports other families. You know, there's all these things going around on the internet saying like, you know, we support the Little League team and we support this business and we give back in this way to this charitable organization in town, and now I'm calling in my favor. And I think that's kind of a gross sentiment. But I understand that people feel that way. And certainly it's a good time to remind people, as much as you may not want to be out there in front of your business, that you're human. You know, like there's a lot of backlash right now about how employers are treating their employees, from huge companies like Amazon and Whole Foods, Target, all of those places. And I think it's really important to remind people who you are in your business and what you're doing. How and what are you doing to make it safe for your business, and also your employees and yourselves. So all of those things are like, just, if you can pull out one thing, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing today for our social media. We have had wonderful response to people wearing masks in our shop. We have people bring their own, we require it, and we have a number of measures in place, but mask wearing is something I want to talk about today to our social media community, because we had someone yesterday wear their mask just covering their face, and not covering, or covering their mouth but not covering their nose. And so we sell a lot of masks in the store, but I plan to talk on our stories about all the different kinds of masks that we have, to show people like, okay, this one's great for this reason, and this one is great for this reason, and we've selected this product for this reason. I am not intentionally thinking that I am selling people anything, but I am talking about a problem that we have in our community. How do we address it? What are we doing as a store? Here's what we have available to you. We welcome you in, try out these things. We have them online. You can pick them up curbside. So I'm just kind of like having a dialogue, just like we are right now, about something that we sell, without being like, and this is $5.99 and you can buy it, and here's the item number. And it's much more casual. It's much more like, hi, here's something we've noticed, and here's a solution that we have for you. And so I think that that's what people are looking for all over, is for it to feel like you can help them. I would love help. So I respond to things in social media that way too. How are we doing on time?
We're doing great on time. I would say about 15 more minutes of talk, or 10 more minutes of talking, and then we could do some Q&As from the audience for both you and Jesse.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to share my screen. I have our Instagram account up here. So we are definitely not the most tech savvy. We talked a little bit, oh gosh. Hey, if I click on this, let's see. Safari, no, maybe that's it, we'll see. Okay, so the other thing I will just echo is that we have an email list that has saved our business through this pandemic. And we've been collecting email addresses of people who have supported our business over the last decade. And the thing that blew my mind was that people showed up if we gave them the opportunity and the reminder to. So what happened was that we very early on only used to sell the products in our store, that our online store, that we manufactured ourselves. So we have a physical storefront where we sell products from lots of different folks. I cannot figure out how to share my screen. I'm sorry. I'm just going to talk.
No worries at all.
Ladyfingers,
You're absolutely fine.
So we have only had online as of March close. We only had products that we manufactured ourselves. So I spent day and night trying to get everything in our physical storefront on our website. And I know many, many people did that. And so as we were adding things, I was talking about it. Talking about it on social media with our customers. And what that meant was that every time I would get new product online, I would kind of, mention it or say like, check this out, we have this new thing, or we have new puzzles in, or kind of getting the physical store onto the internet was a huge challenge in and of itself. And then sending emails out to our customers and giving them the opportunities to support us made a huge difference too. So customers that we haven't worked with in 10 years came through, and I recognized their name, and they were buying things from us. Did they need a candle? Probably not. No one needs a candle right now. But it was really fabulous that these folks felt like they wanted to support us and valued our business enough to buy what we had. So I think the other piece of that is the engagement on Instagram. you can post something, but you need to be like having a conversation with people. So if you can in some way in your writing kind of have a call to action, can you say, let us know what you're looking for, or what's your favorite dish that we serve, or what do you miss the most about coming in? And then you have a conversation with them. So last night I shared the artwork of a really amazing artist, Coretta, who's a former nun who does a lot of work with printmaking and social justice, which is very timely right now. So I shared that to our stories and I said, do you know about Coretta's artwork? And one of our shops that buys our cards in California said, my art instructor was Coretta. In high school, I learned to silkscreen from her, and she inspired me to open my store in California and sell your cards now. So I'm having a conversation with her about that experience. Now, there's all kinds of things, and you'll hear people complain about the algorithm. Again, I am not the person to talk about any of those things, but I know that the more engagement you have with people, the more engagement you have on the whole. The more people see it, the more conversations there are. I'm sure Jesse can talk more about that specifically, but I think the thing is that if you are talking to people and having those human connections, a human connection like that is worth more than 1 million likes and views, because that person is going to in turn remember you when they're looking for their Father's Day card, their Mother's Day card, all of those things. It's the same kind of connections we have in our store. When someone comes in, I know our customers. We have people who we haven't seen in months who've come in, and we ask them how their families are and what's going on with them. So you want to take that level of customer awareness to online. You don't want it to feel like you're writing an ad. For $5.99 today, we have a breakfast special. You can come in and have the eggs, and we'll throw in the cup of coffee for you. Like, that is gross. Please don't do that. You're just not going to get a response to it. People are not going to engage with it. It's not going to get seen. You're going to get frustrated that no one's responding to it. You're going to stop doing it. It's just going to all be lost effort. A lot of what we talk about is our personal experiences. And I know that not everyone's comfortable with sharing, and not everybody wants to live their life online and have that experience. And I totally understand that. But I do think, is there a way for you to write if you're not comfortable expressing yourself and being the face of your company in that way? Is there something you can share that is vulnerable? What is the most challenging thing about being a business owner right now? Like, what are you struggling with? How can people know that when they come in and support you, they're helping with that problem? I think that people really respond to knowing that they are making an impact positively. So one of the things that we were struggling with, let me think, in the past couple of months that we shared about was we were home the first 30 days with our 3 kids, trying to run our business from our house. And so we decided that what we would do is we would daily stream 1 hour of Instagram to a free class that we normally teach in our studio when we charge for. We gave away what we were doing for free, which again is part of what Jesse was saying, is you want to be giving and generous. So we gave away a free 1 hour lesson every day. Our kids were running through the background. People were screaming. It was a total look at our life. And again, you may not be comfortable with that, but is there something, do you have a recipe that's the favorite thing at the restaurant? And if someone can't come in, how do you scramble your eggs in a certain way? What is your special trick? Do you combine something in a certain way that would be a gift for someone to know at home, that then they feel loyalty to you every time they make their eggs every morning, and they're going to come back and be with you when they can? So we gave away this free class. And then we also talked about we have this pen that we sell in the store, and if you want us to send the pen to you, here's the link to buy the pen, and so we talked about the things that we had that were available to folks, that if they were able to support us, they could purchase. And support us that way. And it was, you know, we try to be really aware of a price point. Like right now, so many people are struggling. And I always try to preface like an ask with, we know things are hard. If you cannot support right now, here's all the free stuff. So I think that the idea that you're giving things away is important. And I also think don't be afraid to ask people to support you, but just preface that with you understand that things are challenging. Because I am not shopping right now for things that are not necessary. And I always want to acknowledge that a lot of people are not in that place, but a lot of people are. So that messaging, I think, is really challenging, but I also think that asking people for support is huge. And again, you want to share the ability for that to be part of the ongoing conversation. I'm going to start talking about really soon, like the holidays, which I know sounds crazy, but in our social media world, like we're running into a huge problem with shipping right now. And I'm going to talk about that with our online audience. Hi there. Come on in. We just had some customers walking in the store. They're wearing their masks. So I'm starting the conversation now. It's July, not even July, it's June, about the holidays. So I think sometimes it can feel like you're saying the same thing over and over, but people are not seeing every post. People are not seeing every story. I think that you can talk about something for a long time before it gets tiresome. And if it is tiresome, they're just going to skip over it and it's okay. But I oftentimes feel like, God, I've already said this thing 4 times, but people do not feel that way. I do not feel that way when I see other people's Instagrams. It's okay to talk about something for a long time. And maybe you rotate through like things, but I'm starting to talk about holidays now because I know that we're not going to be able to count on UPS, FedEx, and our postal service in the month of November and December with our current health crisis and the increased load that I'm seeing just for like livelihood stuff for holiday gifts. So like, how am I talking about that now in June so that hopefully people do their holiday shopping in October with the idea that local folks are doing most of their shopping in November and December. But like starting to have that conversation with people now feels like absolutely critical to the success down the road. And again, I feel like an idiot being like, okay, let's talk holidays. But it takes that long for people to get it. I think that's everything that I like definitely wanted to cover. And I feel like answering questions maybe is the most helpful thing at this point.
Yeah, I think you are perfectly on time, and we've got about 5 to 15 minutes of taking questions from the audience. And everyone, you can feel free to type your questions into the chat or unmute yourself and then ask either Jesse and or Morgan.
Let me say a couple quick things while y'all are thinking about questions that I want to kind of underline a couple things that Morgan said and why it works. There's a really interesting idea in sales and marketing that you can either spend all your time trying to convince somebody of something, you need this, you should come hire us, whatever, or just be yourself and try and find the people who already want that. And that's something I just see in how Morgan operates is they're going to be themselves. They're going to be fully themselves. They're going to talk about the things they care about in social media. There will be some people who don't like that. Don't worry about those people because there's lots of people who do want that and connect with them. So don't convince anybody. Just be yourself. And there are a lot of people who will need what you offer. Find those people, right? We even have a client who's a plastic surgeon. I don't need plastic surgery. I don't know many people who do need plastic surgery, and I'm not interested in talking anybody into needing plastic surgery. But there are a lot of people who do need it, and we'll find them. And that's, I think, just a really simple way to view all that we're doing. Like, just don't spend your time convincing people. Just connect with the people who are already kind of in your camp, in your world, in some way or another.
I guess maybe I'll ask a question, which is the best.
Actually, there is a question
I'll
in the
let you
chat.
answer that, Jesse, because I have no idea. Oh, I will say this: we don't pay for any advertising. I think that is something that has been part of what we've believed in from the beginning, is that we don't have money to spend on advertising. Not that it doesn't work, but we've never had a budget or set aside money for that. As a small business, we just do not have a lot that we're working with. And so the idea to give it away to someone else to spread our message has never resonated with us. I will say that we have lots of folks who reach out to us who want to do news coverage, want to do a story, want to come interview us for the news. And I definitely have learned over the years the important questions to ask of those reporters before they get here. But I think that spreading your own message is the most powerful thing you can do, because no one is diluting it. No one is getting it wrong. No one is cutting out a piece of your story that is critical to you. And it doesn't cost anything other than the work that you're putting into it. The idea that you could pay someone and you're going to get 10% of those respondents per clicks or what, like, for us, it isn't ever been a part of what we do. Maybe it makes sense for you, but we have never seen results from that kind of thing. But again, I can only speak to our own experience.
Yeah, so one interesting way to think about marketing is you can either go back to the idea of organic versus paid. You can either earn eyeballs or you can buy them. And Morgan and her team and family have really just gone full in on the organic side. And the reality is organic is definitely, if you can have a foundation for organic, it's awesome. If you have the creativity, the eye to show that kind of thing, some people don't have that. Some people don't know how to do organic. So paying, buying eyeballs is certainly an option. So what's really fascinating about marketing, and as you all know, as running a business too, how much our personality and our DNA and how we're wired comes to life and has to manifest itself in how we lead and run a company. And so some people are really good on organic. Some people are good at doing things that are interesting, and other people, they need a little more help by buying eyeballs, and that's okay too. So somebody asked about, Facebook versus Google. Let me tell you a couple things that come to mind there. Facebook is still relatively affordable at a cost per eyeball or cost per click basis. Facebook is still relatively affordable compared to Google. Google AdWords is like driving a Lamborghini. Like you get in and it's got all these buttons and you're like, oh my gosh, don't push the wrong thing or it's gonna blow up. Google AdWords is like not for beginners. It's hard to do well. Facebook is easier for non-marketers to be able to run. So Facebook is a compelling place. Everybody should be aware of some interesting things happening with Facebook right now related to social justice and politics. Regardless of your political stance, there are a lot of people who are trying to boycott Facebook ads right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what that's going to mean. We don't know if it's going to stick. We don't know if people are going to leave Facebook. We don't know. Sometimes with these large multinational corporations, there's these boycotts and they're for good reason, but it doesn't really impact anything realistically. We don't know. We don't know right now what's going to happen with Facebook, because these platforms have to figure out, are they a platform or are they a publisher? There's a big difference between the two. When you are a publisher, you are liable for what you say. When you are a platform, whatever other people say is up to them. And these platforms are kind of stuck in the middle and trying to figure out, should you be sort of held accountable like a newspaper is, or are you just a platform for people to say whatever they want? right? And there's a tension in our society. I'm not going to speak to what's right or wrong there, but just know it's affecting the advertising world, and it's going to affect how Facebook works and all the pricing. So sorry for a tangent there, but it's kind of worth knowing it's happening out there right now. LinkedIn, somebody asked about LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn is a really great opportunity if your audience is more of a business audience, more of a usually older demographic, or more career-oriented people. LinkedIn is a decent place to look. It's still pretty affordable compared to Google and Facebook in terms of cost per click or cost per eyeball. So LinkedIn is actually, platforms are either at a content excess or a content deficit. Facebook is at a content excess, which means there's so many people using it and so many people posting things, they can't show you everything. LinkedIn is at what's called a content deficit, which means there's a bunch of people on it, but not many people are posting things. So your stuff gets seen more on LinkedIn and will actually show it to your friends' friends. So LinkedIn has a lot of opportunity still. If your persona is somebody who lives on LinkedIn, it is kind of the hot place right now. If you work in the B2B or kind of business world at all, LinkedIn, there's so much opportunity for marketing.
It's interesting too, I think with LinkedIn, it's been around for so long, and I feel like I am seeing a resurgence right now with it. My customers are not on there. My customers also are boycotting Facebook. So I think it's important to know who your audience is, who supports your business, and where are they. If you don't know that, start having those conversations with people. If you are seeing customers in person, say, you know what, where are you on social media? If we're going to offer a coupon or a discount or whatever, like if you're seeing people have those conversations, but also, you know, your customer, like what is their age and demographic, income level, where are they, what are they engaged with? Our customers are really engaged with the uprising that's going on right now. And that is part of what we're talking about. And we don't shy away from talking about hard stuff. And I think that one of the things that we're seeing too is that we're seeing a lot of our following and customers calling out people on social media who are not talking about things. And so I think that's a piece of the puzzle with media right now that like to be aware of and to think about with your own business. Where are you with what's going on in our city, in our country? And do you want to take a proactive approach to that? Or do you want to wait for your customers to say something to you online and try to deal with that? Maybe your customers don't engage that way. But that is a lot of what's going on right now. And I've seen a lot of businesses just totally drop off their social media because they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to say. But that's a big piece of what's going on right now for us, both to people we sell to, both to individuals, to everyone we're seeing is a big piece of the puzzle. So I don't think ignoring it is something that is going to change that for you or anyone. But I think it's important to know your audience and know where they are and what they're dealing with. So.
Yeah, that's good. There's a question here I'd love to answer about email. Renita, great questions on email. Let me give a couple quick ideas here. One of the reasons, and you heard Morgan talk about her email list and how they've grown that email list and how it was successful for them. One of the reasons why email is so great, like social media, is because you own it. It's your list. You don't have to pay Facebook for it. You don't have to pay Google for anything. You don't have to try and get on the news. You can send an email whenever you want. And that's really great about emails. It's yours. The other nice thing about email is it's pretty quick and easy to send one. Like a Instagram story, whatever, sending email, it's a little more work than a social media post, but sending out an email compared to many other types of marketing can be pretty quick and easy. You know, take a picture, share a story really fast in an email. How to grow the list. This is a really good, important question. How to get email addresses to grow a list. something you got to be ready for is that it takes time to grow an email list over time. In my business, because I'm emailing people all the time, it's kind of easy to get an email list. I can just go in my Gmail and look at who I've emailed, right? Like something like that. But more importantly, think about our email address in 2020 feels a little bit like a currency, a type of currency. If I'm going to give you my email address, I expect something. And your customers are the same way. If they're going to give you their email address, they expect something. A sticker, a downloadable something, a coupon, they do expect something usually. Or giving something away in return for your email address will help your email list grow faster. I've been in lots of businesses where you walk in and by the counter, they'll have like, add your email address and receive our, it's hard to build a list. It just is very slow if you're not going to offer somebody something or even commit to what the email address will get them over time. Like that's another way to do it too. Maybe you don't give away a sticker or a coupon. Maybe you don't give anything away, but just know that we're protective over our email addresses and we're not just going to give it away because we like you. You know, for the most part, most people aren't that way. And so just think about growing your list over time with some kind of offer, some kind of commitment to why they should give you their email address. What are they going to get in return? And maybe it's content, maybe it's ideas, resources, maybe it's any of that kind of stuff, but you do need to tell them why they should give away their currency in the form of their email address. So having a email capture in some form on your website can be helpful. You know, sign up for updates, get an you know, there's all these simple little forms you can put on your website to grow your email list over time. It's a slow process, so don't assume you can just put it on tomorrow and get 1,000 new people, but it's one of those things you should layer in over time. And next thing you know, all of a sudden, some even small businesses, Morgan, I'd be curious to know, how big is your email list?
I bet you would. We have several email lists, and we have them separated into groups. So we collect emails at the register. We ask people if they want to know about special events. We ask them if they want to know about sales, and we ask them if they want to know about classes, and they go into a different pool for each of those. And then we also have all the people who own other stores that we sell our products to across the country. That's a segment of our list. And we just crossed a point where we now have to pay to send emails. And I forget where that point is. Jesse, you probably know more than I do. I think we're probably over 12,000 people. So for
That's a fantastic list.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been 10 years in the making. I'm not going to lie. And every single one of those people, when you send an email, there are always people that opt out. Try to not feel like that's a failure. It's just there's always people who don't like what you sent, or they're cleaning their inbox or whatever. You're never going to keep everybody on your email list. So that happens. But we should send more emails than we do. We send maybe one a month. And I would like to get to the point where we're sending one every 2 weeks. But we collect through our website. I think we give a discount. I can't even remember. But there's a pop-up that shows up. People sign up in the store. Customers who sign up, who buy something in the store, are asked if they want to join the list. There's all these just like options over and over. Do you want to join the email list? But we never, like, there's whole ideas about like the funnel, and you should get people signing your email. Guys, I don't know. I don't have enough time to do funnels. I have no idea what that is. But I'm sure there's like a free YouTube video you could watch about it. But you just have to start somewhere, and it's really overwhelming to be like, I need a funnel, I need an email list. Just start today, share something that is meaningful to you and connects you to other humans. And I feel like just try again tomorrow, do more, and just add a little bit. Like it's overwhelming to try and be surviving this, and also to say, we're surviving. Also, we need you. Also, we're okay. Also, like, come back around. Don't forget about it. It's just a lot. So I think don't feel like you have to have a strategy necessarily. Your strategy is just, I'm going to do something. Like, I don't have more than that. And I also don't have a budget for more than that. So maybe some of you do, and you should, you know, spread that around, share it with other businesses who can support you, share it with other great marketing people. But yeah, just start with where you are. I think, I don't know if anyone else has other questions, but that's my biggest advice, is like, just try. If it doesn't work, try again.
Thank you, Morgan. And we can't take any more questions, but I would like to thank both of you for your time. Morgan, you are in your store doing this during your work hours with your child that's 7 months old. I can't thank you enough for your time and for sharing your family business. Thank you very much. And Jesse, thank you so much. I know how busy you are being the CEO of Magneti right now. I know how just crazy busy the both of you are, and I can't appreciate and thank you guys enough for being mentors and for being subject matter experts.